Ever since 2009, when Oasis split up, we've been constantly hearing and hoping for a reunion, but with Noel saying this and Liam saying that, them constantly slagging each other off, which, although it's great entertainment, it doesn't really get anywhere. So when I saw something pop up in my YouTube feed recently about Noel being open to a call from his brother, I thought, oh, wow, what's going on here? So that's what we're going to react to today. It's an interview Noel recently did with TalkSport.
Your handwritten lyrics for Wonderwall,
Wow.
apparently going under the hammer today. Expected to fetch up to $2,500.
Yeah.
Is that
well,
it?
I can assure
No
you
chance.
now that those aren't the lyrics, because
Are they the lyrics?
no,
Is
because
that the real thing?
because it's my handwriting. I'll tell you what's happened here. When all those, no one had heard the songs when we went to do Morning Glory, so it's one of the great regrets of my life. We didn't know what Oasis was about to become. And I threw all those lyrics in the bin. I just didn't think anything of them when they were all finished. They are ones that were written out it would have been for some tour afterwards or something like that. They're not the original lyrics because they've gone in the bin, unfortunately.
Because the original lyrics, you would think, would go for a hell of a lot more than £2,500.
I'd be pretty upset if it's got a couple of grand.
No, setting an argument in here. Wonderwall, who is it about?
Question for you. What is or was your favourite wall? Let me know in the comments section below. For me, it was a wall in Enfield Lock, North London, where me and my pals used to play a one-touch football game called Spot growing up. Brings back loads of happy memories for me. We used to play every day after school. And a close second to that would be any wall that you find when you're coming back from the pub and you really need a piss.
I know
It's
when we
about
did
Meg
the cover
Matthews,
and
I
it came out.
think.
There's a girl on the front of the cover who used to work in the creation offices.
I think.
Doing the interviews for the thing, and they said, "Oh, is this just about your wife?" And how do you say no? So I was like, "Yes, it is." But it's not about anyone in particular.
Okay.
No, right.
I mean, he wrote most of his songs, or the first two albums, before they were even signed. I think he wrote them like when he was working for British Gas and stuff like that. He was just sitting in empty rooms with an acoustic guitar, writing the first two records.
Young lads who were babies when we split up, will come up to you and they're into it so much, do you know what I mean? And it's like changed their lives. They got it from their older brother and all that kind of thing.
See, I find that hard to fathom because the mid-90s and the Britpop movement and Oasis, it was an era. It was a moment in time. You had to be there. It was awesome to be involved in. But if I was a youngster now, I don't think I would necessarily gravitate towards a band like Oasis. I don't think I'd really understand it. Maybe a few singles here and there, but I don't think I'd absorb myself as much as I did back then.
If Noel was to take 3 tracks to the Noel Gallagher time capsule, what would
mine?
Yeah.
Supersonic.
Oh, you've got to pick Supersonic. It is arguably one of the greatest debut singles of all time. Probably one of my favourite Oasis songs too. And I'm going to be doing a reaction or a reminiscence assessment video of that soon as well, because I have to. It's such an awesome song.
It's my favourite Oasis tune because of how it came to
Great
be.
minds think alike.
We were in a studio one night and Alan McGee wanted us to record this particular song for our debut single and we weren't getting it right. And somebody said, just go write a new one. And I went in the back and I wrote it in about half an hour. We recorded it in one night.
It makes me sick.
Timeless little piece of magic. And then
I think that's what I love so much about Supersonic as a single as well, because it was just last minute ditch thing. Even on Definitely Maybe album, it wasn't remixed and remastered or re-recorded. It was just almost a demo recording. That's why I think it stands out versus all the other tracks on the album, because it's just got a different sound. I love it, love it, love it.
Don't Look Back in Anger for what it's become. When I wrote that song one night in Paris, if I'd have known what it would become, I'd never have finished it.
Another thing, I remember listening to that before it had been released as a single. So just after, I think Roll With It came out as a single, and then What's the Story? It came out as an album. And I remember listening to Don't Look Back in Anger and just thinking, this is going to be massive. I was only like 13 or 14 at the time. I just thought, this is a single. It's going to be massive. It's going to take over the country. And I was right, even as a 14-year-old.
Because how could you even write a song that 30 years later has turned into some kind of hymn, you know.
I think Don't Look Back in Anger as well has an even more significant meaning now than it did back then, just because it got adopted as almost like the anthem for the Manchester bombings. It's a beautiful song.
Are you going to get back with him?
Well, I put it out there. He won't call. I mean, he should call
What?
me because he's like,
Sorry, what? I'm putting it out there. I've not heard him say that before. I've heard him bullshit a lot in interviews and umming and ahhing. It's all about the money. I've not heard him say, I'm putting it out there. Okay.
like, he's forever going on about it. You'd have thought by now he'd have some kind of plan, and you know, he should. If he's got a plan, he should get someone to. He doesn't even have to speak to me. He won't speak to me. I know he won't speak to me. He's a coward, right? So he should get some of his people, his agent,
That'll help it.
to call my people and say, look, this is what we're thinking,
No,
and then we'll have a conversation about it.
I've not heard something as clear and concise as that coming from Noel's God before.
Until then, he's been a little bit disingenuous with his.
Do you want to do it? I mean,
with fans.
I mean, I was never an Oasis fan. I've become actually more
Just tell
appreciative
him
of
like it
music
is,
as the
Simon.
years have gone past.
I knew there was
I think he's a prick. I don't like Simon Jordan.
always something wrong.
No,
about him.
mate. Listen, I didn't listen to it. I mean, Jim was a Blur fan, always a Blur fan. I was a little bit more Richard Ashcrofty, but
Yeah, you can tell he's definitely a prick.
I've always said that, you know, things are best left in the past. But if he is, the thing with Liam is, you read these things every day. He's saying on his thing, it's happening. So he gets people's hopes up, right, all over the world.
Yeah.
And then I get asked about it, and I have to
knock us
look like
down.
saying, well, it's news, and I have to look like I'm, you know, dropping a big foot on it. Call me.
I can't believe it's just that simple. Just call me and we'll sort something out. It's all going to be about the money because they're clearly not going to talk to one another for the whole duration. And it wouldn't just be one night. It would be a huge bloody tour as well. Would it really last? Would they be able to handle each other for an elongated period of time without smashing each other's face in? I doubt it, to be honest. I sort of agree with Noel as well. I think leave it. Just move on, do your own thing. I mean, I was lucky enough to see Oasis live at the height of their success, sort of around the Be Here Now era, when they were just massive, absolutely massive. Saw them a couple of times at Wembley, Reading Festival, Earls Court, loads of places. But if they were to reunite now, I'd always know it was just going to be about the money.
Why not?
I suspect that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Simon. Is one of the greatest songwriters of all time boring you? So much so that you can't spend 5 minutes not pissing about on your phone playing Candy Crush? Bellend.
He's smashing it. You know, why be disingenuous with people? You know it's not happening. And if you've got a plan, give me a ring.
So you're open to it if he gets
I'm
in
open
touch.
to a phone.
and let's
I'm
have
open to a
chat.
phone call.
So this is where Noel is being really clever here because he's not committing to anything. He's open to a phone call, but that phone call could be about anything.
See, I have a man right here who puts people back together, like the Specials, as he mentioned.
right.
So come on, you could be the Perez de Cuellar of
He hasn't even been listening for the last 6.5 minutes.
this deal.
yeah, but I'd have to be invested.
Of course you would.
You see, I'm not invested. I think they were a wonderful band. I think Noel was a great songwriter, but I wasn't an Oasis fan, so it's wasted on me.
At least he's being honest. Okay, I take it back. He's not that much of a prick.
Nonsense, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
Sammy,
It's
get
honest.
involved and do
It's
it.
honest.
like I say, I always knew something that was wrong about Simon, and that was it. And it's a weird thing with Simon because when he's going in on other clubs, you're like, yes, get in. And when he's going in your club, you're like, oh, come on, mate. Back in. But I have to say, there's a lot of people. I go on the terraces with the City fans, and he's got a lot of respect from the football community.
That's kind,
I
Noel.
know that.
Thank you,
Brilliant.
mate. That's kind.
Lovely. Good for you.
Just don't spend your time on your bloody phone when one of the greatest songwriters of all time is on your show. Because most of us will rip our arms off to be sitting where you're sitting, mate. I don't know if you guys play this game out there, but you pick 5 people, past or present, dead or alive, that you would like to meet. And Noel Gallagher is one of those people on my list. He's had a huge influence on me just as a kid and growing up and being like my first band that I was massively into. And he's just a funny dude. I just love to sit down and have a pint with a guy. I think it would be awesome. So let me know in the comment section what you think. Is Noel being genuine, or is he just building up unnecessary fan excitement only to knock us back down to earth again? Do you even want to see an Oasis reunion, or are you a bit like me and just happy with the way things are? As Noel said, some things are best left in the past. So it was an amazing moment in time. It brings back some incredible memories and experiences for me, and I'm sure lots of you out there too. So just let it be. Please don't spoil that for us, especially if it's only going to be about money. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe and hit that like button, and I'll be recording a supersonic reaction, analysis, breakdown, reminiscence type video soon. So until next time, look after yourselves, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye for now.